Great, thanks for coming to Eat and Learn. Supported decision making is the topic of today. Well, this is an important topic, and that's why I've chosen it. It's something that we can all relate to in our jobs and seems to come up quite a lot. How do we support participants to make decisions? So I've done a little research and made some good resources that we can refer to when decision making comes up with clients. So basically, what is supported decision making? Why do it? But importantly, how to do it. But really, the why is really important too, because that really guides us to create the opportunities. Okay, so supported decision making, it's basically a process of providing the support to people to make their decisions so they can have more control in their lives. So it really involves is building the skills and the knowledge of people with disabilities, but also the people around them so they can support in the best way. So everyone uses decision making, of course, and everyone needs support. And quite often we ask others, don't we, ourselves, what would you do if you were me in this situation? So really, if you've got a good response, that's, the best support that you can give, and to empower the person, of course. So we're talking about how much support and what kind of support, and it can change from time to time, and you can refer to other experiences, obviously, as you go. So supporting, providing this decision-making, it's good to have tools to guide us, and really actively promoting human rights of people with a disability. This is the purpose why we'd want to support them, of course, rather than the alternatives, telling them what to do or facilitating things for them without consulting them. So we're talking about exercising our duty of care, but actually having a duty of care is not only mitigating risks, but it's also providing the opportunities. So we're helping them to communicate their wishes as part of it, and we're guiding them through a decision-making framework, which is a good way to go, to have something concrete to refer to. So we're quite guided by looking at it from an equal rights perspective, thinking about and knowing the participants' rights to make their own decisions and why. So it's about helping them communicate as well and promoting their own will and their preferences and their rights, but also safeguarding risks that we know could be, potentially out there that they may not have considered. So I've used the Deciding with Support, the new NDIS toolkit. It seems to be a little bit really for participants rather than how we can guide them. So I've come up with some other ones that seem to be a bit better. So also guided by the Flinders University one in this presentation, and also the supported decision-making policy, the NDIS, and the civic choice and control. And I found this great framework called the Decision Education Foundation that we'll talk a little bit more about as we go. So the steps we need to take, it's good if they're based on a theme for action that helps us. So we're thinking about increasing opportunities for participants to make decisions, supporting participants to develop the skills and knowledge, and we're building skills and knowledge of their decision supporters. So that might be their guardian, their parents. So we're all on the same page and assisting in the same way that works the best. So we're strengthening the approach, basically. So how do you facilitate and support participants to make quality decisions? So our role is to help the decision maker work through the possible risks, but also helping them to make some clarity around this decision. So why they need to make the decision and what are the risks, and how we can support them to make things safer by bringing the risks to the forefront, explaining what they are. They may not have thought of several things, so we can help them in that way. So we have to be objective, but how do we know that we are being objective? So we can evaluate our performance after we've supported them. And so we can, reflect on a couple of things to guide you. So did my ideas or opinions affect the decision? Did I focus on what the person wanted, their will and preferences, instead of what I wanted or I thought was best or worked best for, the service or the support and the hours I had available? Did I provide all the relevant options or just what I thought was best? And is there another way I could do it differently next time so I could make a few changes? So a good decision is one that's made thoughtfully with a structured process that is planned and considered. So, not on impulse, especially when emotional. So good decisions require both your head and your heart. So they make sense and they feel right. But they're also based on clear values, creative alternatives, useful information. So I could make the best course of, so I could take the best course of action if I was the participant. So this great guiding framework is useful. So just an example of how I've used this new kind of guidance framework with a client at the moment. This participant wanted to ride his push bike to work independently, which seems like for an everyday person, that would be just something you probably wouldn't even think about. But to use some kind of a guidance, how to make it safer, looking at alternative routes that might be a safer way to do it, knowing what to do if problems arise. What would you do in this case? What would you do in that case? What about if you got a flat tire? What would you do? So then the participant's really prepared for the worst that could happen and knows already how to make adjustments and follow a good course of action to get through that problem, of course. Okay, so with that example in mind, this great framework, the decision-making education website have come up with, it's really good to use as a guide with the participant when you're making the decisions. So it's a good tool and a clear direction how to proceed when faced with a problem and a decision to be made. So it helps us organise our thoughts and working with the participant in an organised way, so how we've come up with the best possible outcome. So there's worksheets and it's a useful format and it makes the conversation really concrete. Okay, so this idea of certain elements that make up a good decision, and there's a video that guides you, but we're basically talking about this is what it looks like. So it's like links in the chain. So starting with getting like a helpful frame of what am I really deciding here? What is the real problem or the things that are holding me back? And then what are the values? So in this case, with this participant really wanted to ride his push bike, he wants to be independent and autonomous, getting to work himself, not relying on others. Okay, so that's why it was really important. So creative alternatives is a good way to really bring about the pros and the cons of each choice, but what are we really talking about when we're looking at the possible actions? So not only short-term outcomes, but also long-term. So, of course, in this case, in the long term, he's going to be fitter, he's going to be getting to work himself, he'll feel more empowered, he'll be able to, control his life in the way that he wants. Okay. And so useful information section is really empowering the client to know about mitigating the risks and what to do in case of crisis. So in this case, it was providing the participant with road rules skills, and there is a push bike road rules book. So what information can you provide to the client in a format that they can understand? Like there's really great sex ed for people with disabilities. So this kind of great information will help make the right decision. So what are we really deciding here, and how can we decide best? By providing great information. So sound reasoning. So I can really say that I've made the decision and for a reason, a logical reason that I can say why I've made it. So this commitment to follow through, of course, is really important. And, without that and having SMART goals, we're not really making things actually happen, and we're just talking about it, which is really not okay if it's not coming about. Okay, so, yep, like we said, that's really useful way to do business. Yeah, so how to start this conversation. So basically asking the participant what they want to achieve and why, and what are the barriers and why is this challenging. Ask about what they value, and so we can ask to clarify the decision with this framework. So we're going to use this template. What are the alternative courses of action you've considered? And then providing this information. And then we're helping them make it come about by using SMART goals, like we said. So this is our template that's really useful to use with the participants, and when we're going through the decision making, so we can see how we're going, and we're discussing all the alternatives. So this great decision-making template that we're just talking about. So if you click on there, it will actually talk you through the process. So, and guide you through. So in this case, it's guiding you through, you can click on how do I make the frame? How do I discuss values with the participant? How do I discuss the alternatives? And there's great little videos for the participant to actually watch and guide you through how to come up with the information, how to have this great reasoning, and the commitment to follow through. We're really talking about the SMART goals and how to bring that about. So the SMART goals are basically a benchmark that comprises the method for the action. And so you can really be justified in bringing about the right outcome for the client. And you're actually bringing it about within a time frame. You can see your progress, and it's something that's really meaningful and relevant that actually does come about. Right, so this initial conversation with the client, there's really great guidance on how to use that template with the client, and how to go through the videos. But if you just, step one is just to watch this initial video yourselves and see how you can bring about this conversation. And then how to use, then you can click on other things like how to use the chain, and click on all the other specifics of the clarity conversation. So it seems like a really good way to go. And it's really, really good guidance on how to go about it. Any questions have come up so far on supported decision making, how to go about it, our rationale, or anything that has come up for anyone so far? No one's got any questions? That's great. That means it's kind of clear, I hope so. But it'll certainly be more clear when you get the resource. So we'll get a copy of the resource, and you'll get the opportunity to click on, so we can see how to make the conversation, how to follow through with the SMART goals, how to bring about the conversation, how to work through the template. Yeah, so basically, we're going through those links in the chain, a bit of information about the chain and how that works, and how to go about this conversation and bring about all these links together. Yeah, it seems like a really good way, a really good decision-making framework to support participants with this decision that they might have to make. And in this example I gave you about this young fellow who wanted to ride his push bike to work. So we talked about the clear values and why it was so important to him, because it means empowerment and autonomy in lots of aspects of life. It was one aspect of life that he hadn't been able to do, and that he should be able to do. So just providing the information, he hadn't thought about what he would do if he got a flat tire. He hadn't thought about, really the specifics of road rules. So we introduced that to him, how to know what to do in certain situations, and also basically guiding him through the practicalities of it, how to look over your shoulder, where the traffic coming from, what to look out for, and then guiding him through step by step on how to, gradually peeling back the assistance. So we're going with you, we're showing you the route, and then we're teaching you the road rules, and then we're empowering you to make the decision yourself, and within a framework of a time frame, and how to bring that about with a risk assessment, consulting with the guardian, and getting consent. And so everyone's on the same page to bring about this goal within a time frame for the participant, and and guiding him through to that end result. Really satisfying to really bring about great goals. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Feel free to email me any questions at a later date, and I'll get back to you on any answers or any guidance that you may need. Thank you very much. Bye for now.